Back in 1994, with Hillary Clinton staring up at her from the head table, Mother Teresa made the following observation at the National Prayer Breakfast: by abortion, the mother does not learn to love, but kills even her own child to solve her problems. And, by abortion, that father is told that he does not have to take any responsibility at all for the child he has brought into the world. The father is likely to put other women into the same trouble. So abortion just leads to more abortion. Any country that accepts abortion is not teaching its people to love, but to use any violence to get what they want. This is why the greatest destroyer of love and peace is abortion. I can only imagine the discomfort of the people sitting there, buttering their muffins and sipping their coffee as this diminutive future saint talked to them about human dignity. By 1994, Roe v. Wade had been settled law for more than 20 years. Pennsylvania's Arlen Specter called it a super precedent at a judicial confirmation hearing, always making me think of a rolled-up scroll with a tiny red cape attached to it. Mother Teresa was up against a culture of nihilism, convenience, autonomy and rights, and yet this tiny, humble woman pushed with both wrinkled hands against the tide and tried to warn us about what was happening to the American psychology. Advertisement. Sadly, despite her own superhuman efforts, she seems to have lost the battle. Those of us to march beside her, and in her memory, are also on the losing side of a progressive wave. As I wrote in my last column, Ireland has joined the European Express train, casting off the cargo of morality and humanity so it can glide effortlessly along the rails with the secular, pro-abortion siblings in the European Union. I've already expressed my anger and disgust for my ancestral countrymen. But just as I was trying to digest the horror of the Irish referendum repealing the abortion ban, and just as I was trying to convince myself we hadn't completely fallen into the dark abyss of nihilism, Roseanne comes along and compares a black woman to an ape. Whoa, there, you're saying. How did you go from abortion to Roseanne in 2 sentences? Let me tell you. I think we can all agree that what Roseanne Barr did was despicable. If we can't agree on that point, you should stop reading right at this point, because the rest of my column is going to go over your tiny, pointed little head, the one with tinfoil on it. In comparing President Obama's former advisor to a primate, the brash comedian was repeating a dangerous, disgusting old trope about African Americans being subhuman. It's not the first time it's happened, and it won't be the last. I'm glad that she was called out on it, although I'll miss her show, and I'm glad that there was a hue and a cry, and I'm really peeved at my homies on the right who are trying to make partisan hay with the fact that liberals get to say disgusting things and still keep their jobs. Yes, there is a double standard in the entertainment world and it should be addressed. But racism is racism, and 2 wrongs don't make a right, even when the person is an ally of the right. But much more troubling than what Roseanne said, or the fact that some people are deflecting attention by pointing fingers at the left with their Bill Mahers, Joy Behars and Keith Olbermanns, is what caused the sitcom star to think it was okay to demonize Valerie Jarrett in the first place: the increasing tendency to feel more important, more valuable, and less expendable than someone else. This is partly caused by tribalism. As Amy Chua wrote in her book Political Tribes, once people belong to a group, they will penalize outsiders, they will sacrifice, and even kill and die, for their groups. We see that with the partisan divide today. The irony, though, is that while progressives bemoan the loss of humanity on the right, and point to a lack of compassion in Donald Trump and his followers, they are generally the same ones who embrace abortion rights as the sign of progress. They don't see that dehumanizing the unborn child is as bad as dehumanizing a black woman or a gay man, and much easier because that child is invisible. So yes, it's a good thing that Roseanne got canned for her bigoted comments, which were horrible. But it is far more horrific that a Catholic country turned babies into byproducts of choice, and multitudes cheered. If we can't see the humanity in an unborn child, we are doomed to blindness. Christine Flowers is an attorney and Delaware County resident. Her column appears every Sunday. Email her at cfflowers1961@gmail.com.